Fatty with a firearm here. Gonna do another video on another little tiny 25 caliber pistol I have that doesn't want to do a video on. What I have here is the French MAB. This is the Model A for 25 ACP. The Type 2 first variant, and all that means is just the internals are different and safety is different. There's not much to change. A lot of you may be thinking this looks just like the Colt 25, and give me 1 second. And they do have a lot of similarities, because the French MAB did buy the patent design from Colt to make basically the same gun, but they had to make their own minor changes to the firearm. And just like the Colt, it does have a grip safety. There is a thumb safety, but it is up here. And it does have a magazine disconnect safety. So if you give me just a second, I'll get the two guns apart and show you where the real differences are between the two. So as you can see from the internals, they are slightly different. Let's start with the frame. This is the frame of the MAB, and you can see it actually has a little Mickey Mouse disconnector here. The safety does operate off the trigger bar, and it's a single-sided trigger bar. So the trigger bar is on one side of the mag. This design is from the the variant 1. Very different from the Colt, as you can see from here. There is nothing around here. It's all behind the grip safety and in here. And the trigger bar is actually a double-sided trigger bar on the inside of the frame. Another major difference is the striker on the Colt is not retained. You can come out when you disassemble the firearm, it'll actually stay with the frame if it is cocked. The French MAB is retained. You actually have to use a screwdriver to take the firing pin out. And the crappy thing about that is if you cock the gun when you're checking it to make sure it's clear and unloaded, you have to dry fire the weapon to make sure you can get it off without breaking the gun. And when you do that, sometimes you wind up snapping the firing pin. And that's what happened to me. I actually did break the firing pin on the French MAB a little bit ago, and I'm really still mad about that because they're kind of a pain in the butt to get, but I was able to find one online and get a new one. But here's the very tip of the firing pin. Broke right the hell off and came out the barrel. Kind of pissed off, but it's just one of those stupid little designs in the gun, and I just wish the darn thing wasn't a retained firing pin. But you get over it, right? So let me put the guns back together and I'll give you a little history on it, okay? Now that the two guns are back together, let's get rid of the Colt. It's no longer needed. Back to the MAB. Like I said earlier, the French actually did buy the copyrights to the Colt design, which was originally given to Colt by Browning. And the French made these from 1921 to around 1957, and this particular pistol, based on its serial number, was manufactured in 1926. They have many different models, the A, B, C, D, and E, and that's really just frame size. The types, type 1's really old. This is the type 2, and majority of the MABs were type 2s. And then with the different variants, it's just what the internals are and the slight different modifications that were made. And there was really no distinct time period when the different variants were made. It was just the changes slowly took hold. This gun doesn't really shoot that much different than the Colt. So I'm not going to put a shooting video on this because the sights are just as bad. You can barely see the sights. They're just as bad as the Colt, pretty much, since it's a similar design. If you want to see the Colt shooting, I'll put a link to it down below. Also, if you want more history on this gun and the Colt and tons of other guns, go to unblinkingeye.com, their gun pages. I'll put a link down below, and they have hundreds of guns on there that you can find the history, the design, the implementation. It's amazing the amount of information they have on that website. So if you go to that website, and again, I'll put the information in the description box below, just go there, enjoy yourself. And again, Fatty with Firearm. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe. Peace out.